From the Sheriff's Office, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this morning, sir?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the July 6, 2017 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners. My name is Bob Archer. I currently serve as chair of the commission and represent District 3 alongside Commissioner Shelley Bueller, who represents District 1, and Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. Good morning.
Morning.
Big agenda today. Let's get started. First item, please.
Item 3, consent agenda.
Questions or comments on the consent agenda this morning?
I have none. I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers that total $811,722.89. The highlights out of the voucher report: Capers payment of $274,032.52. Holding accounts with the state of Kansas for motor vehicle funds of $163,553.99. We have a county project for a Morton building of $70,000. Public Works of $62,343.24, and finally Parks and Recreation of $76,239.80. I do not have any questions regarding the vouchers and would move for their approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the vouchers by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item A2, consider correction orders. Move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the correction orders by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B, Extension Office number 1, presentation of the 2018 budget request.
Good morning, Commissioners. Cindy Evans, Director with Shawnee County Extension. This is the beginning of our annual dance. There's a back and forth because of state statute. I have worked with Betty Griner and Cindy Beck to set those dates. So today I'm just presenting the budget to you. Monday it'll be on your agenda again for any action that you'd like to take, which I will joke as I say this so Betty doesn't fall. You could approve. Yeah. But I know that you prefer to put that off until later. We'll be here on Tuesday to actually give the full presentation. But in a nutshell, we're asking for a flat budget. We understand that the tax lid this year is very challenging. As I have told you in the past 2 years, we have worked as we turned over staff to redesign some positions to find some savings. And so some money that you gave us last year, we're going to try to redirect as to replace travel. We've got 2 vehicles at the office that this year is a big expense. We think that we can capture it within that this year and do the second one next year. So trying to be a good partner, and we'll be back to tell you all the good things that we are doing when we're here on Tuesday. Do you have any questions for me today?
Excellent. Any questions for Cindy until we can't wait until Monday?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Do we need a motion to approve the presentation or just move on? Jim? Just move on. Okay. Next item, please.
Item C, District Court number 1, consider approval of request to purchase a new vehicle for court services from the fiscal year 2017 budget.
Good morning, Charles Heidovitz, District Court. As I indicated to my information to you earlier, we currently have a SUV that the probation officers use to make contact with people on pretrial release and probation. That vehicle is currently having some significant transmission problems. The tires need to be replaced, and one of the passenger seats is now broken. So all in all, this vehicle is unsafe to put on the road, and we wouldn't want to put our staff at risk, nor the citizens of Shawnee County. We had planned to replace this vehicle next year, but under the exigent circumstances, we wish to have permission to replace it immediately so that we can get back to serving everybody. And we would be doing that out of our current year's funds rather than next year.
Okay. And your budget will accommodate
yes,
this?
Yes, we've made the appropriate changes to make sure that we can absorb that in this year's budget.
Yeah, okay, very good. Questions? Commissioner Cook?
Not really a question, but just as an inquiry, the sheriff's office often will outsource the vehicles as they get down a little bit in their lifespan. I know that a number of departments have been able to utilize law enforcement vehicles, and given the nature of the court services field team and what they do, have you checked with the sheriff's office to see if that might be an alternative?
We haven't, but certainly that's an option.
Okay.
Well, in reading the documentation, the vehicle needs to be replaced. I don't think
There's no doubt
question
about that.
About that.
So even if that would be a short-term fix, then maybe we could push that into 2018. That's an option, but nonetheless, we have spoken to Audit Finance, and we are prepared to go down the bid process if that's something. But in the meantime, we certainly will look into speaking with Sheriff Jones to see if there's any vehicles that we can utilize.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
So, and
Yes,
just
Commissioner
a follow-up question, estimated cost, is this, and this is to purchase, not to go out for bids, kind of along the same lines, those questions, there's not an amount?
Well, we haven't identified the vehicle, so we'll go out to a bid, give the
You don't go out for
specifications.
bid,
Yes,
okay.
if that's the process, we'll
Okay.
go for bid, put our specs down, send it out to all of the local car dealerships, and then we'll get it there. I did look at the state contract pricing, and while the state has a very comprehensive contract, a lot of the purchase dates have already expired. So we really can't, it's not, time-wise, it's not good to utilize that.
I'll move to approve the request.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Thank you.
Chuck. Good to see you. Next item, please.
Item D, Coroner number 1, consider approval of resolution number 2017-36, appointing Dr. Martin Martinez to serve as the Deputy District Coroner for the 3rd Judicial District.
Good morning, Dr. Glenn from the Coroner's Office, and I'm very happy to be here today. We're here to ask for approval of Dr. Martinez here. Alan Martinez is a Deputy Coroner for Shawnee County. A little bit of background about Alan. He grew up in Lawrence. He went to KU, went to KU Med, did his training at KU for pathology, and did his forensic pathology training at KC Mo. So he probably got plenty of experience in all those places. What that means for our community is that he's not going anywhere, and that's a real blessing, because there's not a lot of us to go around, and finding a good person that's homegrown is like winning the lottery for me and the people we work with. So couldn't be happier about being here today for this. So hopefully, if you have any questions, we can answer them.
Okay. Wow.
I don't. I'd move for approval of the designation of Dr. Martinez as the Deputy County Coroner.
A second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item E, Parks and Recreation number 1, consider approval of request to solicit a request for price proposal for overhead netting at Bettis Family Sports Complex.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sean Osborne, Parks and Recreation. This item basically is before you just so that we can make an attempt to try to get a price for the netting that would go over the quad for safety purposes at the Bettis complex. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have on this item.
I don't have any questions. This is a question that's come up before. I know that I've had a lot of calls from constituents with concerns about safety, and just probably know pricing has been an issue in the past, and so I'll move for approval to go out for the bid as to what the pricing would be for the overhead netting.
Okay.
I'll second, but I am going to ask, so why now? I mean, because it has been brought up. Why now?
We've looked at it, and the biggest concern we've had over the course of the years isn't so much but it's the maintenance that may follow within 5-7 years from now. There's a lot of other places that do not have nets. I've been to a lot of ballparks this summer, and 3 and 2 does have one. I've talked with other people, and a lot of their concern is the pricing after. The initial cost of getting it put up, you have it, but then 5 to 10 years down the road, you run into that maintenance cost of what it's going to cost from there. And I know it's a cost to safety and different things with that, but that's why we're looking into it, is we've had a lot of concerns and people and citizens. So
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item E2, consider authorization and execution of contract C 219-2017 with Uncon for a revised scope of services for the Lake Shawnee spillway repair and maintenance at a cost of $200,061.71, and authorization and execution of contract C 220-2017, amending contract C 300-2015 with professional engineering consultants to include additional construction administration and inspection services for the duration of the spillway project at an estimated cost of $20,950 with funding from certificates of participation.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Knight, Parks and Recreation. A similar item has been before you on a couple of times before. If you recall, recently we rejected all the bids and went and asked for permission to go back and negotiate with the IMCON, the contractor, and that lowered the construction price and also the price that we pay professional engineering consultants for the construction oversight and those type of things. The funding for this was identified several years ago and is in the certificates of participation account. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Just to make sure I understand, the $200,000 and the $20,000 are included in the COP.
Correct.
Okay. Questions for John?
I have a question for John, but a question for Betty. This was the COP that we did in 2016?
2015.
That long ago?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Additional questions?
Now, I'll move approval of the contracts.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item E3, consider approval of request to create and fill 4 new park maintenance technicians at an annual salary including benefits of $46,766.83, and to fill any subsequent positions that become vacant as a result of filling these positions.
Commissioners, for the past couple of years, we've had an extremely difficult time filling park maintenance level positions, so we've worked with Human Resources and Audit Finance to rework some of these positions, have asked for technical skills and some of those type of things. That's what you have in front of you to pay for that. We are creating 4 positions and eliminating 5 that do not have people in them right now. So, be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Don't have any questions. I know this has gone through HR and everybody else.
I realized that the HR that I went through, Jeff McMillan was very happy with this plan, but I know, and this delayed long enough that I don't know that I've talked a lot with our new human resources person. So, but she's had ample opportunity to come yell at me, and she hasn't yet. So.
Of course, Jeff isn't here to back up your story, John. Let's point that out.
Yeah. Yeah, and he said they could even pay him more. Yes. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I'll move for approval.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook and seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, John. Next item, please.
Item F, facilities maintenance, number 1. Consider approval of request to solicit proposals to select a design-build team for renovations, replacement of the heating, ventilating, and air conditioning systems at the Shawnee County North Annex.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Kroll, Facilities Maintenance Director. It's never fun following John Knight, so this particular... See, everybody agrees, John. This particular issue is for the North Annex. It has existing original equipment as far as the HVAC system that we inherited when we purchased that building. From the research I was able to complete, which is somewhat incomplete because we don't have a good history of the building before we have it, when the county took that building over, there was proposals to improve those systems quite a bit that were not completed for budgetary reasons at that time. And currently we pretty much go through a compressor on the 50-ton chillers once every other year. And those are about $20,000 a pop, so and you can't get them anymore. So I'd like to go forward and see if we can get a design build for some engineering and a good contractor to see what they can come up with to get that system redesigned and functioning and making everybody out there comfortable.
I think I saw where your estimate was going to be close to $100,000.
That's how much we have in the budget for it that was approved. Don't know for sure what it's going to cost and how far we might need to go, and there's some options out there with variable refrigerant flow and things that we might be able to utilize that could save us money over air handling systems.
Okay.
So-
Just
Commissioner
a
Bueller?
question. Bill, how does this factor into the use of space, what we're
I
doing
want to
right
tie it
now,
into,
that analysis?
the idea would be to tie it in together with, any office changes that we might end up coming up with in the space planning.
Okay, good.
I'll move to approve the request.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer and seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, and opposed say no. That motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Next item, please.
Item G, corrections. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-221-2017 with Language Line Services, Inc. to update the current language interpretation services and add remote video interpretation services with permanent costs for Spanish translation via telephone at $1.85, all other languages at $1.95, and video translation via American Sign Language at $2.95.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. This is just an approval of a contract with Language Lines, somebody that we've used for a lot of years regarding our ability to translate, and for those inmates who do not speak English, we're able to utilize this service for the confidentiality of medical evaluations, examinations at the jail, booking information as well. We use this almost every day, every month. We use this service. But one of the other things that in our thorough review of how we deal with those inmates and manage those inmates with special needs, especially those with hearing impairment, we have worked closely with Jim Crowell and the County Counselor's Office, done extensive research with both agencies, his agency and ours, at the jail, and looking at better ways that how we can provide services, especially in emergency services when it comes to suicide prevention, mental health assessment, things like that. This contract here, Language Lines, does provide a video remote interpretation system that is very commonly used in detention centers and in law enforcement and in the community for this type of service, to where they do have a computer screen that allows an interpreter that has knows how to use sign language, and that we can be able to communicate with the inmate better. This is one of about 10 different steps we're taking at the jail, which includes ensuring that our phones have volume control, making sure TDY machines, braille books, hearing impaired, we have audio books for those with visual impairment, things like that. So we've done an extensive review of our policy, and this is just one step that we're going to be able to use that I think would be very efficient, that I've done a lot of research on. And this money would come out of the inmate wellness account to be able to take care of this. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, or anything that you would want to ask Jim maybe regarding because we took all of our policies, and I wanted his office to review everything as well.
Questions for Brian on the contract?
I'll move for approval.
A second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook and seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Brian. Next item, please.
Item H, County Counselor. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-222-2017 with West Law for online legal research access for a period of 36 months at a cost of $1,248.15 per month, to be paid by funds from the County Counselor's Office at 50%, the Sheriff's Office at 33%, and the Department of Corrections at 17%.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Crowell, Shawnee County Counselor. This would continue our relationship with Westlaw. Our current 3-year contract is expiring. As the clerk read, we share this contract with the Sheriff's Office and Department of Corrections, and we pay on the cost according to our usage. We're asking to add an additional database to our Westlaw access to allow us to access some additional litigation materials. Over the last 3 years, the counselor's office has been handling more cases in-house rather than outside counsel. This will allow us to do that in a more effective and efficient manner. We've run by those additional costs with the sheriff and DOC, and they are in agreement with that. And that's the rundown. I'll be happy to answer any other questions you might have.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item H2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-223-2017 with Westlaw Thompson Reuters for West Complex printed materials at a cost of $19.03 per month for 3 years.
For any younger attorneys that might be watching this, this is about books. They're those dusty things that sit on the shelf. Us older attorneys still use books from time to time. We've actually looked, and I reviewed the titles that we receive, and we cut out one of the titles. I don't think we need that any longer. These 2 sets we do utilize, and sometimes for some purposes, it is actually easier just to grab a book and look at the rule rather than to try to search for it online. So I'd request your approval on this item.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item H3, consider authorization and execution of contract C-224-2017 with SMG, amending contracts C-254-2006 and C-246-2012 regarding the term of this current SMG management agreement by moving the termination date from December 31st, 2017 to August 31st, 2017.
Commissioners, the next 2 items are related, and they relate to the management of the Kansas Expo Center. As the clerk stated, the principal term in this amendment is to amend SMG's contract to terminate on August 31st, 2017, rather than December 31st, 2017. I want to thank H.R. Cook and SMG for all of the work they've done, for working with me on putting this amendment together and continuing to work with us in this transition. I do appreciate it very much. And I'll be happy to answer any other questions you might have about the amendment.
Any comments or questions? Welcome back. Good to see you, HR.
I don't have any questions. This is I understand, will make a smoother transition as we move from one management company to the next. And thank you, HR, for everything you've done,
Yes.
Hans, and everybody else at SMG. So.
Yes, thank you. H.R. Cook, Regional General Manager, SMG. And again, we work with Jim Crowell and his staff and come to a good resolution on this. We think it's pertinent and important not only for the citizens of Shawnee County, but also the employees of the Kansas Expo Center and their transition. And SMG's here to work with Spectra and make it as smooth as possible. And it is a good idea probably to transition early because of the events coming in the first quarter of 2018 and the contracts that'll be ending. So this is a good agreement for both sides, and we look forward to working with Jim and Spectra on the transition and our employees. And this will be the last time I come to this podium, so thank you very much. And, well, I might see you again in 5 years.
Never say never.
Never say never. All right, thank you.
HR, you mentioned the employees, and I know we talked about that before the meeting, but at the advisory council meeting, there was some concern about, the existing employees for SMG, and we had lots of questions. And with this contract ending and the new contract beginning, then that allows for that discussion to take place for a smoother transition, hopefully, correct?
Yes, they have. They do have a lot of questions.
They do.
We do have some employees that have left for either other SMG opportunities or opportunities within the in the area. for personal reasons. Others are looking forward to the challenges and the opportunities with Spectra. And now that Spectra's here, maybe we'll have a chat after the meeting and kind of start discussing and scheduling some meetings so we can put the employees at ease. So
Okay,
we look
good.
forward to that.
And I'll just take this chance to say thank you for all your years of service to the Expo Center and to downtown and the whole community. You and your family were very involved in the community, so I just
Yes.
want to take this time to say thank you.
Well, thank you. It's important when you come to a community to become involved with the community, and you fall in love with Topeka quite quickly. And what's great about this community is if you see something wrong, you can fix it. If you come up with the idea to fix it, you're usually put in charge of it. And eventually other people will jump on the wagon with you and carry the torch. So it's been a great run, but thank you.
Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
I'll second. Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item H4, consider authorization and execution of contract C-225-2017 with Spectra for management of the Kansas Expo Center commencing on September 1, 2017 and expiring on December 31st, 2022.
And now that we've passed that contract, I highly recommend that we adopt this next contract, which would commence on which would commence on September 1st. And like the negotiations with SMG, the negotiations with the Spectra have been very smooth. They've been very accommodating with all of our concerns, and I really appreciate that. It's a new relationship, so there are a lot of moving parts to work through. We've hopefully covered most of them in this contract, and anything that comes up over the next few months, we'll keep working on that together, and I know that we'll be able to do that. This is a contract term for 5 years and 4 months. We've added the 4 months to cover the 4 months left in the year, September through December. Spectra will be making a $300,000 contribution to the facility. And there's a lot of other details. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have over it, but we recommend its approval so we can get started.
Questions regarding the contract? Commissioner Cook?
I know that we've all had a chance to review the contract and go through it and discuss it with you. I don't know if Spectra has anything they want to say other than.
Good morning, Commissioners. Peter Zingoni, Vice President of Business Development for Spectra. Thank you again for the opportunity to present to you guys today. We're very excited. Jim Crowell, I have to tip my hat to Jim. As easy of a transition that he referenced. Jim was working all weekend throughout this contract, and certainly tip my hat to him and all the hard work and the smooth contract negotiations that we went through. We're excited to get started. We have Kellen Seitz here, our General Manager, who's going to look to get into town at the end of the month. He's got some house searching going on this afternoon already. Really excited to get started. Again, our commitment is to really work with the existing employees and really giving everyone an opportunity to remain with the company, remain with the Expo Center, I shall say, and we're committed to working with that. We've been working very closely, reaching out to existing event organizers at the Expo Center, trying to utilize and tap into some new relationships as well. So we're just very excited to get started and look forward to a smooth transition. But thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Peter. Additional comments or questions?
I'll move approval of the contract.
A second.
Good. It's sort of like we're saying goodbye to an old friend and saying hello to a new partner and exciting possibilities. This is a big deal, and I'm excited about it. Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. And again, Jim, your leadership in negotiating this is deeply appreciated.
Thank you
so much. Next item, please.
Appreciate that.
Item I, Commission Number 1, consider approval of Resolution 2017-37 establishing salaries for all department heads.
All right. Well, I will move for approval and basically say that we are fortunate to have the senior leadership team that we have. We reviewed their performance, and essentially all of the increases that we're recommending were based on performance. And do you have any comments, Commissioner Cook or Commissioner Bueller, about the process? I know Commissioner Cook really initiated this review process a couple of years ago, and it formalizes and documents how we review performance by our senior leaders. And I want to compliment Commissioner Cook for doing that. It's a lot more systematic, and I really appreciate it. So, do you have anything to add?
I just know this is something that Commissioner Bueller advocated for a number of years, to have employee performance reviews for our department heads, and just able to, this is our third year in doing this, and it's become more formalized as we've moved along, but also looking at the CBIZ study, looking at where we rank with other like-sized communities, and so there's a number of factors that enter into it. And so.
That's right. Commissioner Bueller has wanted to do this for a long time, and finally she found some kindred souls to make it happen. Commissioner Bueller?
I was going to say, I think I expressed that thank you for the willingness to do it. The review of the department directors is important for pay, obviously, but I think more importantly, it gives us an opportunity to talk with them one-on-one on the goals for their departments and the goals for the county, and that, I think, really helps then set the stage for the budget and for the good things that we do here at Shawnee County. So,
very good. I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Betty Greiner, Director of Administrative Services. I just want to remind the public that we begin budget hearings today at 11 o'clock. We will start those, and then they will run through Thursday, July the 20th. They will be streamed live on our website. They will also be recorded, and anyone can go to our website and watch those that have been recorded. There's also a schedule on the website of all the different hearings and what times they will be. So,
very good.
thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Block, Public Works and Solid Waste. As Director of Public Works, I am also slated to be on the JADO Finance Committee, and I'm currently serving as the chair of that JADO Finance Committee. I just wanted to give you a report. The city completed the last infrastructure road project for the previous sales tax program, which is the 2004 through 2016 sales tax, and we now believe we're as close as we can be to a final balance of what we'll have. The program overall was, in my opinion, extremely successful. After all the street projects and bridge projects were completed, we have an excess amount of $18,215,464. There's still some final interest costs that may be added or deducted from there when it's officially closed out, but that is as close as we can get for the time being. We had our last JADO Finance Committee meeting for the previous sales tax program earlier this morning. What that means, the excess amounts then get distributed between the city and the county based on a state formula. Essentially what that means is Shawnee County will receive of that amount $8,371,827, plus or minus a little bit, and the city of Topeka will be receiving $9,843,637, plus or minus a little bit. Just as a reminder to everyone, as I'm sure you are aware, the county has passed a resolution, the commission passed a resolution to take any excess funds and put it towards the construction of the Willard Bridge, which is nearing its completion here later this year. And the city of Topeka has, the council earlier had designated their excess money to go to streets also. So, so the citizens are getting $18 million plus more in infrastructure work than was originally anticipated when the program set out. So I believe, like I said, I believe the program was very successful. I think this is really good news. We are going to be providing a summary of all the items that had been completed with the sales tax program, I believe, later this month or at a upcoming JADO board meeting. But we'll be preparing that. And just also, so you're aware who else is on the committee with me, Ms. Greiner, Betty Greiner, serves on the committee. Jason Peak, the Public Works Director for the City of Topeka, and Nikki Lee, the Finance Director for the City of Topeka. So anyway, I wanted to just let you know that we have all the costs in, and we think we know about exactly what the excess amounts are going to be. So we're happy to report that. And then secondly, as the Director of Public Works, as the Director of Solid Waste, I want to remind people now that the 4th of July is over, that please do not put fireworks in their trash unless they have completely been soaked in water beforehand. That stuff can ignite in the back of a truck, and it can cause a lot of damage. So we ask that they be very conscious about that. All right, thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Tom.
Good morning, Commissioners. Justin Gregory, Kansas Expo Center. Just wanted to give everybody an update what's going on at the Expo Center this week. Today we are hosting a 4-H District 5 horse show that we actually brought over from Lawrence a couple years ago. They did talk to them this morning. They do appreciate the fans being up and running because it is starting to warm up in there. This weekend we will host the Kansas Buckskin Association, their 3rd show of the year, in conjunction with an arcade gun show. The hours on the gun show are 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. on Saturday, and a 9 a.m. through 3 p.m. on Sunday. Again, Sunflower State Games are coming up on July 15th, 3rd Thursday on July 20th with the casino night theme. And also have a announcement on a concert coming to the Kansas Expo Center on September 28th. We are welcoming Big Church Night Out featuring the Newsboys. And there will be more information to follow on that at a later date. But the tickets do go on sale July 15th, and tickets start at $23. So, and I will say, as a Kansas Expo Center employee, thank you, Jim Crowell. You've done a heck of a job on this, and we do appreciate your work. H.R. Cook, thank you for the opportunity you gave me 4 years ago. It means the world. Kellen, Peter, they got big shoes to follow, but I think we can do it. So, any questions?
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good morning again, Commissioner Sean Osborne. Just wanted to give you an update. We just finished the Spirit of Kansas the other day. Turned out great. The weather in the morning was a little shaky, but for the most part, to give everybody a rundown, we did have 400 people that utilized the Topeka Metro bus service. That we had a new site, came from Ruger Sports Complex over to Lake Shawnee. Estimated crowd was a little less than what we had last year. We were around 41,000. I think that was due to holiday being on a Tuesday, plus a little bit of the weather. Around the Blues Festival and Crafts was around 7,200. We did have a full turnout for the golf tournament, the Appreciation Golf Tournament. We estimated with Wildlife and Parks that we probably had around 50 boats on the water for the event. And I just want to give kudos to everybody who helped out. Emergency Management, Sheriff, Topeka Police Department, City of Topeka Traffic Engineering, Shawnee Heights Fire, AMR, Topeka Metro. It took that many groups to come together to create a wonderful event and a safe environment, and we did have everybody exit the lake by 11:55. And Dusty's here with me to add anything to that.
I just wanted to say thanks to Sean and the Parks and Rec Department. We start planning this thing every year in January. We look back at the last year, seeing how we can improve it. And at this point, it's just minor adjustments after doing years of this. So good work. I just wanted to say thanks.
Great. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sean. Anyone else? Or administrative communications? Commissioner Bueller?
I do not have
Nothing else? Commissioner Cook?
Just, excited to get to the budgets.
You're going to be as hard to follow as John Knight. I did want to say, in giving the senior leaders compensation increases, because I'd heard from a few sources, well, what about our hourly employees? And I wanted to point out that through the CBUS study, virtually every county employee had gotten a salary increase, and some significant, like our law enforcement, people that work in our Department of Corrections. I want to make sure that the public knows that we are implementing the CBIZ study, and employees are getting salary increases. Spirit of Kansas was well done. Thank you for all the partners in that. And Betty indicated we start budget hearings today, but let me give a little detail. Today at 11 o'clock is the treasurer's presentation. At 11:30 is facilities management. At 1 o'clock is the Register of Deeds, and then at 2 o'clock is the elections office. So that's where we stand on the budget process, and that's one of the most important things, obviously, that we do all year. And so we're all excited about getting started with budget presentations. So, next item, please.
Item 6, executive session.
There's not a need for an executive session today, so we are adjourned. Thank you for coming.